For realsies this time. What's up? We're here to check out this Cole versus Alex Mercer death battle. Y'all been requesting it. I haven't seen it yet. I've been wanting to see it, so I just wanted to get my thoughts on it and just see what they were doing, just because this is right up my alley. So let's check this out, man.
This episode of Death Battle is sponsored by HelloFresh
and Shady Rays. Cole Mcgrath, the patron saint of Infamous.
Alex Mercer, the Blacklight Virus prototype from Prototype. That's right, champions. You voted for it, so we're finally doing it. Long after
I've literally been voting for this thing for like 10 years, and that's why I actually made my own, is because they took so long to make this. I literally commented on, like, there was a period of time where I was commenting on like every single video they did, like saying, yo, where's Cole Mcgrath versus Alex Mercer? Because this was like such a, like, in the zeitgeist of, you know, whatever, like, this was something that everyone was very much interested in because it had a very real rivalry. So I'm like wondering what the took them so long to make this.
These characters were ever relevant. Oh hey, look what I found in the trash! An old script we wrote for this very matchup way back in 2013.
Wait, we haven't emptied our trash in 10 years?
Those are the days, man.
Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. With great power comes great responsibility. Tobey Maguire's not the only superhero who's had to learn that lesson.
Cole Mcgrath was just your average delivery boy in Empire City, until one day he opened a package that exploded in his face.
This was the Ray Sphere, a device that, upon erupting, destroyed much of the city and tore through Cole at the atomic level,
killing him instantly. Nah, actually, he scooped up some superpowers. Cool, zippity zappity superpowers.
Okay, so they're doing good Cole, which is substantially less powerful than evil Cole. Okay. I mean, either way, depending on which version of Cole they do, if it's Infamous 2 Cole, Alex doesn't really stand a chance, just because Cole can fight the beast who tanked a nuke, and Alex got literally vaporized when he got nicked by one, so.
More specifically, Cole became a conduit, one of many beings who were granted supernatural abilities from the Ray Sphere explosion.
Which also turned Empire City into a godforsaken hellscape. This world needed a hero, or at least an anti-hero willing to clean up the mess he sorta technically made.
Cole put his powers to the test, battling rogue superpowered conduits, including the mastermind behind the blast, Kessler.
Let's be real, none of Cole's powers are as sick nasty as his parkour skills, but his ability to manipulate electricity is pretty sweet too.
Cole controls electromagnetic energy. Not only can he generate a smorgasbord of powerful lightning attacks, he can also manipulate thermal, kinetic, and gravitational energies. Electromagnetism is pretty broad after all. This includes his radar pulse, which detects the bioelectricity inside.
Was that from PlayStation All-Stars, or was that like a Infamous fan film? Because I didn't know they made those. Interesting.
Organisms, even if they're hidden or transformed.
And for good measure, he got to add some ice powers to his kit. He can throw ice grenades, shoot ice spikes, and let out some epic ice farts.
He can levitate like Electric Iron Man, grind on rails like Shadow the Hedgehog, read your mind like Goku's muffin button, charge up with extra karmic energy, also like Shadow the Hedgehog, and generate force fields like
Shadow the Hedgehog.
But these aren't just force fields. They literally convert any matter they touch into energy that Cole absorbs. That's insane.
Yeah, it's
How's
pretty
that?
OP, not gonna lie. Like, the shield is stupid. Like, you can just literally just stand there and, like, nothing will happen just because nothing can get through it. It's kind of wild.
Are you familiar with a little equation called E equals MC squared?
No.
Oh, well, it defines the mathematical relationship between matter and energy, essentially how much energy any given mass contains.
Okay, the largest mass object Cole absorbs is a 343-gram helicopter chain gun round.
Perfectly converting matter to energy is technically impossible, but hey, this is a video game. The mass contained in that bullet, when multiplied by the speed of light squared, would release an energy equivalent to over 7 megatons of TNT. This means Cole's energy
okay, so like, I see what they're doing and what they're saying, but this isn't really a good way to like determine how strong he is, because they're just essentially just determining how much energy his shield has stopped in the past. But what they're not realizing is that he uses the shield to fight people a lot stronger than the helicopter. So they're not actually figuring out how much he can output. They're just figuring out how much his shield can convert into energy from what we've seen. Not much energy he can output. Because usually we do, you can only output the amount of force that your body can withstand without like hurting yourself, of course. So like that's why we like the whatever power scalers or whatever, they take a look at the people that they're fighting and how much like energy they've produced versus like random stuff like this, because I know they're going to go back and use this as to determine how strong he is when that's not really the case. Sorry, I'm going on a tangent.
Energy output is basically fueled by a nuclear reactor.
Oh, so he's like a living super bomb, always ready to go off. Sounds like my first ex-wife.
Should he somehow run low on energy, he can drain it from nearby appliances to
And
recharge.
deals.
He's even learned to drain the bioelectricity from people, like this. Yikes.
Cole can focus his electricity through his amp, a giant tuning fork which lets him ring around the Rosia to death. Or he can just make lightsabers out of his hands. That's cool too. And because he follows Pokemon rules, Cole's extra resistant to electric attacks.
With these powers, Cole chewed through Kessler's forces, including Sasha, whose black tar powers could infect and control minds.
And he eventually faced down that son of a bitch himself and pwned his ass, despite Kessler having his exact same powers. Coincidence?
Turns out the architect of Cole's misery was himself from an alternate future timeline, manipulating events from the shadows to ensure this version of Cole became a better hero than Kessler ever was.
Yeah, you see, Cole's superpowers are molded through his actions, increasing in power and utility based on how good or evil he acts. Naturally, as a good person, Cole shaped his powers to be more focused to target the bad guys. That's pussy shit! Evil Cole is way more awesome sus! He blows everything up! Collateral damage? Who cares? He can control fire!
Yeah, Evil Cole's a lot more fun to play, to be honest.
Well, that just happened. Who wrote this shit?
The point is, Kessler's whole plan was meant to prevent the apocalypse, which would appear in the form of the Beast, a conduit of unimaginable power.
Cole is strong enough to create massive thunderstorms, fast enough to route electricity moving at 90% the speed of light, and maybe thanks to Kessler, tough enough to take on the Beast.
Which possessed the power of the Ray Sphere itself. It could regenerate at an atomic level and eradicate all of Empire City in a single attack.
Yeah.
Fortunately, after a grueling battle, Cole defeated the Beast once and for all.
Though ultimately, it wasn't Cole's power that made him a hero.
In order to stop a plague created by the Ray Sphere, Cole sacrificed his life, eradicating the conduit genes and saving all of humanity.
Sure, he also killed thousands of conduits in the process, but hey, what's a few corpses when building a better tomorrow?
right.
This trolley stops for no one.
Cole was remembered as a saint by the people of New Marais, as a hero by the friends he left behind, and an inspiration to future generations. A true testament to the responsibility of power.
I miss the
This episode of
Infamous
Death Battle
games.
is sponsored by HelloFresh.
Alright,
HelloFresh is America's #1 meals and fit
Family is that time satisfied.
suit your
No, you're getting
go to
fifth the next.
them that.
Alex Mercer woke
go.
up in hell. Manhattan Island was gripped by the horrific Black Light virus, transforming its citizens into terrifying
This is
monsters.
very much my
Alex
childhood
had
right
no
now. This is
memories. He was a
nostalgic.
man without a past, and maybe no future. But he did have one thing.
The Black Light virus can rewrite your cells all the way down to your DNA. And somehow it granted Alex incredible superhuman abilities. He can infect anyone he touches with this virus, altering their biology at the molecular level in seconds, and giving him complete control over their actions.
So Alex pushed on, desperate to avenge himself and the city by finding whatever monster unleashed this nightmare and eat them. Yeah, he can consume people to give himself a power boost. He's like Kirby, if Kirby listened to Linkin Park.
This extra biomass gives him superhuman strength, a greater metabolic rate,
Tanner,
increased
by the way.
reaction times, and even a regenerative healing factor. Essentially, Alex is an ever-evolving super being, the ultimate being.
Oh, like Shadow the Hedgehog!
By consuming victims, Alex also receives all their memories and experiences, including...
Fun fact, so Shadow the Hedgehog was actually heavily influenced by Jack 2, which is another really edgy character, which is just really funny to me.
Peter Randall, a 69-year-old man whose entire history Alex processed in just 11 seconds. Being able to condense that much information into that time frame means Alex can perceive events happening within 5 nanoseconds.
Which is about how long I was married to my second ex-wife.
Alex can shapeshift his body at will, creating disguises, increasing his muscle mass, and forming nearly unbreakable armor. And when he wants to kill someone, he can become his own weapon, turning his limbs into claws and blades, or generating countless tendrils that give him unmatched control over his environment.
With these goopy powers, he came up with a bunch of Street Fighter moves, like the air dash, the cannonball, the bullet dive drop, and the hunter dirt nap. Pretty sure that was my third ex-wife's boyfriend's stripper name.
And after consuming enough people, Alex reaches critical mass and can unleash his evil slop in powerful ultimate attacks.
Like the Tendril Barrage Devastator. Oh, it's beautiful.
Despite being seen as the world's most wanted terrorist, fair, Alex used his powers to stop the spread of the virus and end the city's nuclear devastation.
It was then he learned the truth. He wasn't Alex Mercer at all.
He was the Blacklight virus itself, which absorbed the memories and likeness of the real Alex
So
Mercer.
far, I mean, they're pretty... Like, I haven't found anything glaringly wrong with what they're saying, like, so far. This is really nostalgic for me, though, just because it's, like, reliving my childhood. This is, like, this was a different time. And everything was just very edgy. It's fun.
Mercer, who was not only dead, but actually responsible for all of this in the first
That's actually one of my
place.
favorite
To decipher
twists,
this, I recreated
like,
the Blacklight
in
virus
anything.
myself, the most dangerous... Oop,
Why is it empty?
he's right behind me, isn't he?
So the man Alex was hunting the whole time was himself. Dun dun dun.
That's right, Boomstick. Turns out Dr. Alex Mercer helped create the Blacklight virus, and when things didn't work out and he was about to die, he recklessly unleashed it upon the city.
What a petty SOB. What he didn't know was that the virus would merge with his sentience and memories and become a new
Alex is kind of a
How?
dickhead.
Why? Don't question it, it's a nothing burger.
But is this mass of viral material that calls itself Alex actually human in any meaningful way?
The poor bastard sure tried to be. Too bad humans can be dicks, and everyone kept betraying him. Even the so-called love of his life, who shot him in the face. Whoa! So, Alex figured, obviously, humanity had to go.
Not just go, but be made better. Whatever goodness remaining with this Alex was left behind as he plotted to unleash a second Blacklight virus, recreating humanity into a super species in his own image. Great power became great terror.
Classic anime RPG villain stuff. And he was strong enough to do it. Alex can casually tear buildings apart, dodge supersonic tank shells, and even defeated the Supreme Hunter, who was tough enough to survive a nuclear blast that would have leveled Manhattan.
Based on the blast radius given in-game, that's
Okay,
400...
they didn't, like... Okay, so, like, the Hunter, like, sort of survived in the same way Alex did, which means it was, like, goop. And then they were still, like, kind of alive. It's kind of like the water bears or whatever, like the ones that live on the sun. Like, they could, like... They're not very strong, but they're... Like, they can just survive extreme situations because they're adaptable. And that's more of what happened versus, like, just... Like... It wasn't really like a durability check. It was more just like a survivability one. Because Alex can survive a lot of shit. But, you know, if you still hit him, he's going to turn into a puddle. You know what I mean?
150 kilotons of TNT.
Speaking of nukes, Alex survived one. His healing factor is off the chain.
See?
And after being blasted into paste, all he needed was the tiniest bit of himself to come back good as new.
His healing occurs at the cellular level, making him virtually impossible
That's
to kill so long as he keeps consuming.
But attempting to take over the world and kill millions of people pissed off a certain James Heller, a dude who had just had enough of his fucking weird rambling shit.
who used the same virus powers to consume Alex once and for all.
Live by the Kirby symbiote, die by the
Even though
Kirby
he let
symbiote.
himself die,
What,
but, you know.
was Alex just a virus after all? I mean, what's more human than the urge to conquer the world, drive its species to the slaughter, consume its raw genetic resources, and crown yourself king? Maybe the day Alex Mercer died was the day he truly became human.
Wow, that was intense.
Fuck yeah, it was.
All right.
This episode is sponsored by...
Skip that.
Yeah.
Deal of the season.
Right, the combatants are set. Let's end this debate once and for all.
It's time for a death battle!
All right, I've been waiting for this. Let's see. Oh, they're going all out for this one. It's a little janky, but okay. What?
I think I've still got...
Why does Cole have hair? They got the model that everyone hated. Oh, man.
room for dessert. Buddy, you are one
No! Why does Cole have hair? Oh, man. Okay, I need to rewind. I was distracted by that. That's distracting, man.
I think I've still got room for dessert. Buddy, you are one sick
All right.
freak.
The prototype soundtrack goes hard. Actually, the Infamous soundtrack goes really hard too. Alright, sorry. I'm just getting distracted.
I think I've still got room for dessert. Buddy, you are one sick freak.
I'm not sure if I can use the music in this, so I might have to mute the audio.
What a nightmare. You don't know the half of it. So much power, and yet you waste it on these vermin. You and I can change this world for the better. The only vermin I've
Okay,
seen.
so if Alex really did this, Cole would just be dead right now. Like, the whole thing, like... But, okay. I could see Alex potentially trying to sway Cole, though, if this was, like, Prototype 2 Alex.
Here is you.
Okay, this is ridiculous. Like, Cole has the blades as like a last minute thing. Like, he wouldn't throw them on and duke it out with Alex Mercer. Like, the dude's Mr. Close Quarters and Cole is Mr. Long Range. He has the amp because his blades weren't great. That's why he has the amp. Okay.
You don't want to give me your power! Fine! I'll just take it!
Good idea.
Finally, there you go. Into atomic drop, okay.
This world sure isn't perfect, but it's a lot better without you in it, asshole.
Oh, now I know where that script was in the trash. I had to hear someone say awesome sauce.
Both opponents were incredibly versatile and deadly, and both could match each other's powers blow for blow.
They could each create weapons, amplify their strength, and fight at range.
But could Cole survive Alex's infection? Well, Alex would usually need to weaken an opponent to get that trick to work. Even then,
Yes, for everyone who won't shut up in the comments, Alex can't just instant consume people. He needs to weaken them first. And if they are stronger than him or just as strong as him, he's got to really, like, beat the shit out of them first.
Ray Sphere incident that created Cole's powers in the first place ripped apart everyone else down to the atomic level, and the Beast's attacks were capable of the same thing. Considering the Blacklight virus only works down to molecular DNA, it's reasonable to say Cole would be able to resist it.
Sure, Alex could have potentially consumed Cole's biomass to give himself an edge, but Cole could just do the same thing to Alex, absorbing his bioelectricity to power himself back up.
But nothing could challenge the gap in power. Everything Alex survived could simply not match Cole's force fields, and especially not the power of the Beast. The blast the Beast created actually had a much wider radius than the one the Supreme Hunter could survive. To compete with these foes, this means Cole was simply far more powerful than Alex.
Speaking of the Beast, Cole's ability to disintegrate it at the atomic level meant that even Alex's crazy molecular regeneration couldn't stand up to Cole's might.
Just like how Cole could overpower Kessler despite his resistance to electricity, or how he resisted Sasha's mind control powers, which were eerily similar to the Blacklight virus.
But I bet you're wondering, what if Alex fought evil Cole instead? Well, it'd be even worse, because that Cole took the Beast's power for himself. That's good night for Angry Virus Boy.
Alex was a versatile, deadly opponent, but Cole's counters, speed, and raw power gave him the edge.
Alex got the Cole shoulder, just like this stupid script.
The winner is Cole McGrath.
So, basically, I'm gonna minimize this. So, basically, I had no real issues with the fight. It was like it ended the way I said it would and how I thought it would. And only thing I didn't like is just some of the way they portrayed them a little bit, just because that was kind of weird. I mean, it was just it was how Death Battle usually goes, which is just their big moves, like their greatest hits, so to say. The only thing I thought was weird was when Cole put his blades on, and I thought the way they used some of Alex's powers were weird. And just, it was very anime versus how I think a fight with them would actually go, which would be a lot more like tactical, because it was very much like two anime dudes fighting, which is fine. It's just, I don't think it really fit Alex and Cole's, at least from a choreography perspective. But anywho, I thought it was fun. I'm glad I could watch it with y'all, but yeah, I mean, I thought it was all right. But I'm glad I'm glad Death Battle agrees with me, to be completely honest. But anyway, thank y'all for watching. That's going to be the end of this video. This video is sponsored by me. I am currently making a feature film. We have some merch available if you're interested in supporting. We also have a fundraiser if you want to just support in general. We have lots of perks. And if you're into that kind of thing, check it out. If not, we got lots of cool designs, lots of cool just shirts and clothing just ready to go. All right, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will see you on the next one.